I guess in what ways did you feel that you were pressured? Did you feel like you would lose your job? Does Mr. Beast have a pattern of
Yeah, they
firing
wouldn't call
people
me
if they don't
back,
do
which
what he
they
listens?
didn't. First of all, after this video didn't air after we filmed, they did not call me back ever for another thing. So
Damn.
that just proves that, yeah, I was a poor sport about one. Not even a poor sport. I said no, and then they're like, all right, well, don't call Jake back for stuff. There was also the pressure to want to get called back, so I could do more challenges, so I could do more stuff.
Sorry.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the channel. I'm sure by now you have probably seen the debate, the interview, the interrogation that happened between me, Jake Weddle, DogPack, Quintheo, and Lerix. If you haven't already, this video is for you. It's perfect. It's a nice little summary of everything that happened. I cut out all the blank parts and whatnot so you can kind of get up to date on what exactly happened that interesting night. As we can see, a few creators have already kind of covered this. Again, if you want to take a look at their videos, The Surprise Witness did a video, Echoes from Above did a video, right? So this video, the interview, has made its rounds on the internet, right? How I feel overall is just that it was a very interesting time, and I want to preface by saying this was not me burning a bridge with Lerix or anyone like that. I don't dislike the guy. You know, he does his own thing. He had his own motives behind this. And, you know, I had my own motives. I'm not going to lie and pretend like I was going to hit Jake Weddle or DogPack with some hard-hitting questions. Not really at all. They are my friends. They're people that I respect and support in their interests with the whole MrBeast situation. Call that sweeping, call that glazing, call it whatever you want. But in my eyes, you know, I don't dislike them as people. And this was meant to be a friendly interview that very quickly turned into what you would consider maybe an interrogation. A lot of things happened. And you guys can let me know down below what you thought of it. Let's just get right into it. Tell Jake if he's trying to blow the rest of the MrBeast money, I've got pinball machine recommendations. 30K will go fast. And thank you for the 10, Nicholas.
Hell yeah, brother. 30K pinball. We'll spend that in a weekend. Get some friends, get some beers, have a good time.
Oh yeah. DogPack is saying, when are we squatting up in Fortnite with MrBeast skins? I don't know if they'll add that skin back, but that's a beautiful idea.
Did they take that skin off? I didn't even know he had skins.
Yeah, he had two skins. He had the MrBeast 6000, which was when he was like saying racist jokes. And then they had the normal MrBeast, which is like him and his like MrBeast hoodie.
That'd be a really funny emote if it was like a 2018 MrBeast and it calls you a slur.
Yeah, that would be fun. It's like censored. It's like a dolphin noise. Nicholas DiOrio, I've got the MrBeast skin if you want to
Fortnite doesn't have the balls, dude.
They don't. They need to man up. Did Jimmy pay Jake or not? Is what DJ Sauls asked.
Yes, the money got into my account. Actually, the money got into my account if not later that day, then the next day when that video went up. So I had the money.
Perfect. And you got 50K, right?
Yeah.
Okay. How much did you want?
Some people in my inner circle were like, oh wow, wouldn't it be cool if even though you asked for 50, he gave you more? No, he gave me 50.
And how much were you wanting? Is 50 good for you, or were you wanting more?
Honestly, I didn't want any. Okay, I didn't want any money. I want to live. You know, I want to be able to eat food. If I got $50,000 from any other means, I would have been happier about it.
Yeah, I feel that.
But unfortunately, the mechanisms that exist in which I receive the finances that I need to live are the buyouts from whatever this dumbass game I played years ago, which is fine. That's the world I live in. I think I'm reacting naturally to the given circumstances. But yeah, I wanted really. I wasn't expecting the apology at all. I wasn't expecting him to reach out at all. I thought maybe if he makes a comment about, the situation when he does a big, YouTuber apology video, oh my God, the world's biggest, craziest, most anticipated YouTuber apology video. I thought I was going to be a footnote in that maybe.
I do wonder.
No, the fact that it was a personal DM.
I do wonder if the MrBeast apology, when it finally comes out, is it going to be one of his normal videos where it's like...
What's up, guys? I just dropped the biggest apology on you.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm wondering. 50 different angles, 50 jump cuts. Let me see. DogPack said...
Hit me hard.
He's got to bust out the world's biggest ukulele. I played the world's biggest ukulele. But yeah, don't be...
That's actually genius. So
What do you
funny.
do for fun, Jake?
I got a cousin whose name is
There
Josh,
you
so
go.
that's fun. Huh?
What do you do for fun? Like besides comedy, while I'm waiting for some good questions. What do you do for fun?
Oh gosh, dude, me and my girlfriend play so much goddamn Baldur's Gate. It's insane.
Hell yeah, good game.
I have beaten Baldur's Gate once completely, and I've not as completely as you can, given your choices, but. Like I got to the end of the game. I have another campaign. We're in Act 3. I think I'm in 2 campaigns. I'm in Act 3, and another campaign. We're in Act 2. I think I have like 500 to 600 hours since January.
Beautiful.
On fucking Baldur's Gate. And Baldur's Gate content coming, but I played it for fun first.
Nice. I need to get back into that. I suck at Baldur's Gate. That's like the one game I'm horrible at. Ask Jake if any big creators have reached out to him.
Yeah, me and Rosanna actually talking to DMs a little bit. She said, thanks for the kind words.
Nice.
I said to her, thank you for all the work she's doing. A couple of creators, I don't know their names off the top of my head, but I've gotten some DMs, and again, it's all, kind words and lovely. I get a lot of mean comments from 12-year-olds with no followers, and that's fine, but I actually, there's this one kid emailing me directly, and I was emailing him back and forth because I thought it was like really funny that he's like, you better stop. You better stop talking about MrBeast because. And I before my video dropped, I was like, "Oh, really? Jimmy told you to say all that to me? Because that's so weird. I just got off the phone with him, but you must have talked to him more recently. So what did Jimmy say to you? Because he goes, "That's not funny. I know you're not telling the truth. You're a liar." And then, so that was a funny back and forth.
I get the same. I get the same. According to all these people, I'm a MrBeast milker. It is what it is. I'm paying bills, so I'm good. I'm happy with it. I'll keep milking the beast.
If you're a MrBeast milker, that means Jimmy's a poverty milker, and that's just logic. So
I'm saying if he can milk all these people. So Spoops with the 199 says Lerix wants to call in and has questions prepared. Are you down with that, Weddle?
Sure. Yeah, I don't know who that guy is.
Lerix,
So
he's a commentary guy as well. I don't think he's a glazer.
Yeah, sure. Fuck it. Let him in.
Yeah, Lerix, you can add me on.
I don't want to be glazed or hated on. I want honest feedback.
Yeah.
So if he's an honest actor, let's do it.
You're out there, Lerix. CamNuggets on Discord. I can add you to the call. DogPack says, ask him about Viking calling him a liar about the mountain. Oh yeah, so Jake the Viking did make a video. He didn't address any of this.
Awesome, thank you for moderating in the chat. I appreciate you, dog.
So I'm sure you've seen the video. He didn't ask any of the real questions, but he did address your mountain story, and then he deleted it very quickly. Same day.
He didn't talk about Delaware, but he'll talk about the mountain. That's fine.
But
so the mountain story. So I went over some of this in the other stream I was just on, but so I didn't get to watch his video as it was up because he took it down before I could give it a hearty watch. But I saw your reaction to it, and I saw Quinthio's reaction to it, and so. And again, I was kind of skipping through it because, like, you were watching it too. You were struggling to get through it too. You were like, "Oh, what a nothing burger," So the things about him calling me a liar, like, again, this is why it's so hard for people to come forward about stuff because I've heard a bunch of shit from a bunch of stuff I trust. So I trust these people. These people wouldn't lie to me. I wouldn't, come forward with this information if I didn't, believe it wholeheartedly. But then it's like, well, where's your? And every time I say something. And everyone goes, well, where's the receipts? Viking brings up my receipts. So thank you, Viking. I really appreciate it for confirming all the things I said about Delaware, except for the one thing that doesn't matter. That was nice of you. And as far as the Grandfather Mountain video, you did the same thing again, where I said some things that I was told in confidence because my good friends are good friends and I trust them. And then you just confirmed all the things I said, except for the things that don't matter. So thank you for continuing to do that, Viking. Keep making videos. I really appreciate it. I wish that video would stay up for my credibility.
There you go. Yeah, it was weird.
That being
why
said,
not just keep the video up? To delete it was just very strange. It's frozen.
Yeah, I think it was because he was getting a lot of pushback, and I think he did like double monetize it, which is funny. Like I didn't like when I got monetization. Yeah, I turned it on when I got it, so my videos are monetized now. But he added mid rolls.
He needs money. He was like money.
Well, I don't blame him for that. That's fine. Everyone needs money. That's the thing I keep saying I hate. So everyone's like, oh, you're just doing this for money. Yes, we live in a society where that's why anybody does anything in this world. So going off of that, Viking, I don't care that you put mid-rolls on your thing. I am begging people to join my Patreon because I also need to live.
Right.
If it's okay with you, it's also okay with me. I'm not going to come at you for it, okay?
Hell yeah.
All right. But as far as him calling me a liar, no, everything I said was true. if I said anything that was incorrect, it was more maybe just not being there, and maybe my friend told me something that was incorrect. But here's what I do know for a fact. My friend broke his ankle because he was carrying too much stuff, and he was carrying too much stuff because, from what I was told, it was Viking's idea to throw all the bullshit off the side of the mountain, and a lot of bullshit was thrown off the side of the mountain. And when I say 2 miles worth, like that's the length of the side of the mountain that your stuff could potentially fall into when you throw it off the top of the mountain.
Okay.
So I was told that people were collecting litter over a scale of 2 miles because that's what happens when you're at the top of a mountain. I feel like I'm explaining geometry, but it's fine.
We're good. We can move away from the mountain. I think that's a whole other story.
It's fine. As far as the again, I touched on this in the other one, but just to do it quickly here. No, I didn't carry stuff down, but that's because I was in Jimmy's car and Jimmy wanted to leave, and he's the boss, and I had no choice. I would have loved to have stayed and helped clean. That's fine if you want to call me a liar about that, but if I could have helped and stayed clean, I would have. Here's a fun little fact, just to know that I'm not bullshitting you. When I was in the car with Jimmy, and I was concerned for my friend who was getting helicoptered off, this is a Cam Nugget exclusive.
Hell yeah.
I was in the car with Jimmy, and that's when Smosh released a video about MrBeast. And here's why Smosh's videos about MrBeast are the best ones. It's because Jimmy doesn't like them.
Oh, wow.
When he goes, oh man, Meat Canyon, I love Meat Canyon, his videos are great. He doesn't like the Smosh videos, and that's because they're good.
Okay, there you go. So, Mr. Elijah...
he was reacting to the Smosh one. He was upset with the Smosh video. Meanwhile, I'm like, well, is my friend okay? He's getting helicoptered off.
Yeah, right.
Well, hello.
Hello there.
Hello.
Welcome, Lerix.
Hello. Thank you for adding me to the stream. Very much appreciated.
Of course.
Hello.
Welcome.
So yeah, if you don't mind, I just have like a few questions or whatever, if that's cool with everybody in the car.
Yeah.
Yeah, so first coming in honest and good faith. Jake Weddle, I actually did check out your stand-up from your video. I think it was
lovely.
your most recent update, your video before your MrBeast one. Unironically, I thought that it wasn't that bad. I just thought delivery was kind of rushed on certain times.
That's not the meanest thing I've heard about my stand-up. I appreciate you.
But like some of the material, it was pretty good. If it would have just been like delivered by, a little bit more confidence or whatever, I think it would have been perfect. Great show.
Perfect.
So,
sure. All right. Yeah, no problem.
Giving compliments out the gates. But yeah, don't want to come across as too aggressive, but I do have some criticisms I feel like are fair to bring up to you. Hope you can clarify.
Yeah.
All right. So so with this instance, I'm curious about with the solitary confinement, right? I was curious on, was there a time, because I feel like this was kind of lost in the DogPack video, was there a time where specifically that you told MrBeast and the crew that I want out, I don't want to do this challenge anymore, and they told you, no, you have to stay in the challenge?
Yeah, I was trying to talk to Jimmy only came in for a little bit, and it was to film. So when I was doing a lot of the production talk, it was to, directors and producers. So there was times leading up to the marathon where I was vocalizing, not necessarily I want to get out right now, but hey, what if we did it not in 30? What if we maybe did less than that? What if we, I don't know, what if we did 10, or what if maybe, I don't know. And then leading up to the marathon, it was getting a lot more apparent that I would have liked to have left. And the straw that broke the camel's back was definitely the marathon itself. And once I was saying, I want to get out. They were actively trying to convince me to stay in there longer. They were trying to convince me to stay in there maybe. I think I said this in the DogPack video, 7 more days. And I was telling them, no, I don't want to do that. I can't do that. And that's when the lights finally got turned off. And I slept for, I don't know how long, but one of those big, good, long 18-hour ones,
Those are the best.
Give or take. I don't want to be exact, but it was a good chunk of time.
Yeah, quick thing about those challenges, I think. Yeah, quick thing on those challenges. So were those challenges mandatory? The things like the marathon, I think the Rubik's Cube as well.
So,
were those mandatory?
I was doing a couple of the challenges leading up to it. And again, this is the thing about the video. Technically speaking, on paper, no. But when I tried to not do the Rubik's Cube thing, he was, just do it. Just do it for the thing. I didn't want to do a lot of stuff that I was pushed to do. For instance, there was some Legos in there. I didn't ask for Legos to be in there. I didn't care if Legos were in there. And I was like, they would turn on the intercom and they would say, we want you to play with the Legos and build something. And the things that was I had a guitar in there. I had a sketch pad in there. So I was doing a lot of writing in there, and I was doing a lot of figuring out how to play the guitar. I learned how to play 3 chords. It was great.
Hell
but
yeah.
that's what I was spending my time doing. And then they were like, "Stop doing that and play with the Legos." And I was like, "I don't want to. I want to. This is making me feel better."
Yes, something I
So
think is really
there was a lot of
important.
pressure to do stuff. But yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Yeah.
Okay, so you bring up the word pressure. So I feel like when making these allegations or talking about the situation, your wording is very important, and how specific the wording
I agree.
is very, very
Yes.
important. So, for example,
agree.
there'd be a huge difference if MrBeast told you outright, "No, you have to do this," or you felt like pressured into doing it.
Well,
so,
yeah,
like when I
because then
ask
it'd be
you,
a
were
crime.
these mandatory?
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess I want clarification on that because I feel like you're kind of answering some of these in like blatant no's. So I just want to clarify that. So were these marathons or challenges mandatory?
Again, I'm gonna say technically no, but all the points I made in the video about why I was pressured to do so still are aggressively valid. And I feel like saying, well, he technically had the ability to leave. Technically, yes. I want to keep using the word technically. That's what technically means. This wasn't a crime. But
Yeah. So
the
in
effects
what
are still
ways
the
did
same.
you? Yeah. So I guess in what ways did you feel that you were pressured? Did you feel like you would lose your job? Does MrBeast have a pattern
Yeah,
of
they
firing
wouldn't call
people
me
if they don't
back,
do what
which
he
they
listens?
didn't. First of all, after this video didn't air after we filmed, they did not call me back ever for another thing. So
Damn.
that just proves that, yeah, I was a poor sport about one. Not even a poor sport. I said no, and then they're like, all right, well, don't call Jake back for stuff. There was also the pressure to want to get called
Wait.
back, so I could do more challenges, so I could do more
Wait,
stuff.
sorry.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Sorry. Was that the case? I thought so. You were, if my timeline's correct.
That was the last thing
you
I ever
were-
did over there, and then they never called me back after that. Yeah, because I
So
said
were
no,
you
so I
in-
don't get. Yeah.
Yeah. So were you an employee at that time? Were you an
Not
employee?
at that time, because up until that point,
So,
I
yeah.
was nice. I was let go for trying to argue higher wages for another employee, and that was in 2020. I want to say October, and then they called me back because I was nice publicly, which is why that's why that pressure is real. I was then able to come back to do another challenge, and that's the one that fucked my shit up. And then I did not get to do any other challenges. They never called me back after that because of me saying I didn't want to do all of the things, which again,
Okay, so that's a very
false
important.
credibility.
Yeah. So at that point, I think this is a very important detail to bring up is that you weren't.
And I agree, and I'm
contracted-
very sorry if we didn't cover it
Hold
the
on.
first time.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I'm just bringing it up. I feel like it's a really big deal to know that you weren't a contracted employee at this time. That you were just
I
in
was
there as like paid volunteer or whatever you want to call it. You know what I mean? So that's a very important thing because that shows the pressure on whether or not you'll get a call back or not. Because there's
Exactly.
like a huge difference between a contracted employee risking your job getting fired versus just doing like some kind of work on the side or whatever to like hopefully like do like an American Ninja Warrior challenge to like get a whole bunch of money. So that is so yeah, I feel like that's a big difference. And I to be 100% honest, I kind of have a hard time wrapping my head around the fact that I guess you didn't have the ability to say no. So could you
And that's
kind of
fine.
like
That's
make
because
me
I was there and you weren't.
understand-
That's okay.
I know, yeah. So could you like
so yeah,
could you make me understand like why you felt that you couldn't say no at this time? Because I feel like agency towards everybody is a very important thing.
I was the head writer for a while, and when I was the head writer, I always found it really, really difficult to pitch stuff to Jimmy, just because Jimmy is very like the way he speaks to people is very like I don't want to say like other people have come forward and say like Jimmy talks to the crew really, really shitty. And I just think he doesn't like have the thing in his brain that tells him to talk to a certain, like he doesn't tiptoe around feelings. Right. And that can come across very, shitty. So I had a really, really hard time pitching stuff to Jimmy just because of the way he spoke and the way he is. So in that regard, he's this millionaire boss who is he does my paycheck. He is this also like just a rich kid, essentially. He's younger than me. And so there's that anxiety that comes from letting down the guy who has all of the money. Me, somebody who has, grew up on food stamps. You know what I mean? Here's the guy who I have to make happy in order to, get the things I want. So
yeah. So
in
real
that
quick on that
regard,
thing, do
I
you think
wanna-
Mr. Beast is responsible for your anxiety there? Because I feel like that's an unfair thing to prescribe to Mr.
I don't
Beast.
know.
that
I don't think he's responsible for my
responsible.
anxiety. I'm just saying it's a factor. No. I'm just saying I have anxiety.
Okay, I think that's a fine factor, but I don't think it like strengthens your point because you can't put that responsibility on Mr. Beast.
Talking. Yeah. I'm good. I'm just talking. I apologize.
Okay.
But yeah. So the thing about that was like there is that like anxiety or whatever. But there's also like there is a video that's happening right now. Like I'm just on my own aware of how much money goes into the set. I myself am aware that there's a production schedule. You know what I mean? So there's like the aspect of not just letting Jimmy down, but letting the entire business down. So I want to be a good sport, but there's also the pressure of being in the video myself, and like because I was somebody who was always cut out of videos, and this video coming out would have been huge for me. Even though they weren't, allowing me to get the plug and they weren't allowing me to have my like handle up there. Like this is my face, this is my personality, and people are going to see it. And so, yeah, there was so many pressures to continue. And we didn't even talk about the fact that if I do this, I get what I was told is $300,000. So
yeah,
yes,
to be fair though, what I'm hearing so far is a whole bunch of,
but yeah, the pressures that exist.
So yeah, that's fine. But what I hear so far is that these are a whole bunch of internal pressures that you have. I don't think you can hold MrBeast responsible for this.
It's not like they fell out of a vacuum. I mean, these pressures exist because this is the company that Jimmy built. Jimmy built this company, and the pressures come from the way that the company operates.
I'm going to interrupt, I'm going to interrupt because DogPack makes a great point here, and you also made a great point in your in the video. You actually pointed out the fact that MrBeast is all about content. So like he films all this from the content perspective. And so DogPack actually said here, if he said no, the company that employs his friends would take a $500,000 financial hit. The challenge flat out wasn't that Jake agreed to, or wasn't what Jake agreed to, which I can understand.
Yeah, no, I didn't know the lights were going to get turned off. I didn't know about the marathon. I didn't know about any of this shit.
Wait, what was that thing? So what was this pressure? Because this sounds like the first justified pressure. So what was that again? His friends?
Oh, it's the thing that we were talking about the entire time, buddy.
Basically the idea that, when MrBeast films content, did you ever read into that long contract that leaked lyrics about the, like, it was like a 42-page document, like with the no does not mean no and all that stuff?
Yeah, I saw that.
So basically in that, like, he points out that almost every single thing, every day of work and whatnot, like all of this ends up being like millions of dollars worth of like effort and work. And so I'm guessing that Jake is saying that he was scared to, mess up and make MrBeast look bad and waste money.
Yeah, the business model, the document that was released, that is how Jimmy operates full-chestedly, and so that was being applied to me, and the no does not mean no. Like, that was being applied to me on top of the internal stuff, on top of the financial stuff. Like, to say that there's no pressure and to say that all the pressure was manufactured by me, I think is a little ridiculous, but that's just me.
Well, here's the thing. I don't think it reaches that higher bar when MrBeast is held responsible. Because with what you're saying, it sounds like MrBeast can't ethically run any kind of challenge.
Or anything. Well, I also don't like the way he does challenges too. So I'm just consistent on that too. I think when you stick a camera in a poor person's face and make them dance for money, I think it's fucked up and weird and creepy. But that's just me.
Okay, so do you think there's any ethical way that MrBeast could be doing these challenges?
Yeah, turn the fucking camera off. Don't do a challenge. You want to be ethical? Just fucking donate because it's the right thing to do. Don't make fucking content out of it. Or if you are gonna make content out of it, don't do fucking yacht videos. Don't do $1 million fucking excess videos later, because that's ridiculous too. If you're gonna do charitable work, and if you're gonna do work that helps the poor, and then you turn around and go, this is what a gajillion-dollar yacht looks like hanging out with Pete Davidson. Yeah, fuck off. That's shitty.
Okay, so no, you don't think he can do it while recording it?
No, I've said time and time again, I think the business model is unethical in and of itself, and Jimmy invented the business model.
Okay, so yeah, so far I've heard just like psychological, and if you want to reiterate that point with like how his friends would lose out on the money too, I'd appreciate that, because I don't think that fully got fleshed out.
It's like the company would take the financial dive of not having Jimmy's videos, dude. Like the ad revenue on those videos,
dude,
it's more than
Super Bowl money. Here's the thing. Money. But the thing is that yes, that is true, and I bet you did feel a lot of pressure that you didn't want to cause like your friend or buddy in the past, MrBeast, any kind of money by failing this challenge. I get that. That's 100% of pressure. But the thing is that I don't think it's that high of a pressure where then MrBeast is now held responsible for doing like an unethical, like fucked up challenge in that specific way.
That's where you're coming from, and I disagree, and that's fine.
Well, yeah, but do you understand my perspective on how like
I do? I just deeply disagree with it.
To like put that responsibility on MrBeast. Okay.
And I see where you're coming from. I disagree, and I hope you see where I'm coming from. And whether or not you disagree or with that's fine too. But that's just where I'm coming from.
I just think like personal agency, erasing that, you have to reach a really high bar to take away someone's personal agency here.
And I think, I think Jimmy definitely
by saying,
took away that agency in droves. But if you don't think so, that's fine.
Yeah, and like the reason I just want to harp on this is just it's a really big allegation to say that like MrBeast took away your agency and in a sense kind of like forced you into doing this. But
Yeah, no,
we
I agree. That is very serious. That's why I alleged it.
yeah. And then so with the no means no thing, there's one thing I wrote down that you said that I just want to quickly go back to. So you alluded to kind of things like saying, what if we did 10 days and not 30, right? That was one of the other reasons where you tried to say no and they didn't allow you to.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, it
Yeah.
wasn't until I was having a mental breakdown where one of the crew members had to come in and console me, fully like breaking down, and then a psych came in, and a psych said, "You guys got to stop." Once I had, once my agency really started taking over, I guess, is when maybe the lights got turned off and I got let out when I did. I just wish I didn't have to make that big of a stink, but that seems to be the only thing that moves things in this industry. So whatever.
Yeah, sorry, could you explain what that big stink was? Because from what I heard or gathered from like the video,
Oh yeah, it was the
like,
full-on
it sounded
mental
like
breakdown I had. Yeah,
yeah, what is
I was,
yeah, sorry,
I'm
what
sure
does
there's
that
footage
mean?
of this. Oh yeah, crying profusely, panic attack level, anxiety attack, all while cameras were rolling. I have one of the crew members coming in and consoling me. It's one of the reasons why they got the psych to come in and check me out. Yeah, no, I know I was, the video itself was heavy, but it could have gotten heavier. We were making a video, so.
Yeah. And to be fair, you probably think this is unfair, but at least what I was gathering from that video is that it sounded like the minute that you really made it known that you want to stop this challenge, MrBeast let you out.
Yeah, no, that's not the case. The minute I said, let me out, let me out, let me out, there was a lot of convincing to keep me in. And then I was kept in there for another probably 24 hours before they tiptoed around the fact that let's hope he doesn't sue when he leaves. And then I got let out. So that's what happened.
And sorry, to be ultra specific, like what was the convincing?
Do you think you could maybe do a few more days if we make like something like a little, I don't remember off the top of my head, like some of the condolences they were trying to make or some of the compromises, but they were doing a lot of like, well, will you stay in if you do this? And like my issue was my legs didn't work anymore. I literally couldn't walk, and I had blisters on my feet that like I couldn't step on. My
literally
feet were
couldn't
just
walk?
like red. No, I for 3 or 4 days I was like shuffling like an old person because my joints, and when you don't train to run a marathon and the lactic acid builds up. You can just look up scientifically what happens to your legs if you've never run a marathon in your life and then ran one on a goof, maybe after 8 days of no sunlight and no vitamin D, for example. But I literally couldn't walk for several days after, and they wanted to keep filming. And I was like, the content's bad after that. The content's not good. You know what I mean? Like, so yeah, I had to beg to be let out, and that's because I couldn't walk anymore.
Okay. Yeah. And sorry, I keep asking for specifics. I just feel like a lot of it is getting exaggerated.
No, you're good.
I think it's very important.
They're just a little harder to get into, and I apologize for that.
Yeah. So yeah, of course, when I hear the things like you couldn't walk, I'm like, wait, what does that mean? Because that would be a really big deal if MrBeast literally saw that you couldn't stand up, and he would still was trying to convince you and say like, hey man, you got another 24 hours in you.
Laying in the mattress that I had on the floor when everyone was coming in to console me because I couldn't stand up.
Okay. So so moving on a little bit. So I saw you said that you did 10 days or 11 days, correct?
11, I want to say, yeah.
11. And then you also said you feel like you're justified that MrBeast owes you the full $300,000, right?
No, I feel like I feel like when I was leaving the challenge, since I was honeypotted in with 300,000, and even though the video went terribly wrong, I felt like it would have been the smarter thing for him to do was to just give me the full 300 that I thought I was getting. But instead, my payout was a mechanism of the game, and that's also rubbed me the wrong way. That at least I got to keep what I earned or whatever, like that being the thing, And then when he tried to give me more money later, now that I made a big stink about it again, because the only time anybody gets anything is when they make a big fucking stink. He said, "Hey, do you want the rest of the prize money?" And again, it wasn't about the prize money. The fact that it is tied to the game is what bothers me, and that's why I wasn't comfortable taking that much even today. It was because I genuinely just felt like what the right thing to do at that time would have been this, and instead he was content coded. And that's just
so part of
thing I always have a problem with.
Yeah, so part of the game, I saw you theorizing that he was basically doing this as hush money to keep you quiet, so that basically you don't end up in.
I mean, I don't think, or I don't know if he was doing that. I think it's potential he could have been doing that. Even though he said don't take any videos down, what's DogPack's because of the implication. You know, like, oh, if I'm nice to Jake, maybe he'll start being nicer to me publicly. And look, I'll tell people credit where credit's due. Jimmy reached out. He offered me this much. I didn't feel comfortable taking that. I was a little more comfortable taking this because it wasn't a mechanism of the game, and I still do need my bills paid. But like, I'm not gonna like, if for Jimmy to say less information, don't tell people I did this. I don't like that. I want to be honest, and I want to tell people everything.
Yeah, so you again, so you're saying you don't know, but you're also saying at the same time it's a mechanism of the game. I guess I just feel like
I'm saying that's how I feel because it was when he was saying, "Do you want the rest of the prize money?" His phrasing puts it, yeah, that's what he's putting it. It's mechanism of the game.
Yeah. Okay. So and something I want to ask too is that there is, I'm not sure if you're aware, you probably are, but there is old videos of you previously talking about your separation with MrBeast at first, I think around like 2 or 3 years ago. And you say that your separation from MrBeast was very amicable and cool. I could show the clip up if you want. I got it.
Oh yeah, the when I left the actual employment situation, and it was for me because I was over the moon about leaving. I didn't like working there, and I wanted to leave, and he paid me to leave. And he also didn't like me, and that's because I was trying to inject funny, weird comedy into the scripts that he didn't like. So yeah, in that instance, it was a mutual breakup of sorts, where I was over the moon to leave, and he was probably over the moon to get rid of me. I was genuinely devastated. My friend also lost his job because I fought for that guy, and I wanted him to get paid more, and I was devastated to see his reaction. That really, really, really fucked my shit up for a long time. And we talked about it actually a few months before I came forward with everything, where I, told him how guilty I felt about that the whole time. And we had a heart to heart, and that was lovely. But as far as like that, like employment separation, like when I left the company on that regard, yeah, was over the moon to leave the company. Was very mutual. Was my friend in that same situation? Absolutely not. Was I riddled with guilt about what happened to him? Absolutely. And did I come back and do a challenge because of the ability to continue to speak publicly that I was doing, your video cited in question? Yeah, I was able to do more videos because of that. That's why you talk nice in public. And then I was, even though I had that horrible, horrible experience, I still shut the fuck up about it until I saw, I don't know, Discord chats, and I, heard why they called him Delaware, allegedly. So I heard all these things, and I thought, oh, I shouldn't be quiet any second longer, and I ran to DogPack as fast as I could.
Okay, understand. So yeah, of course, like not a like a more uncharitable representation is that you're kind of just like waiting for the opportune time for a social dog pile and MrBeast.
Well, yeah, this was the only time anybody was ever going to take me seriously, and people are still on Discord chats grilling me. Yeah. I'm kidding, but you see what I'm saying.
That's a fair point.
Yeah.
So Lerix, do you not think that like people can see trauma or like see other people come out and then realize that they also went through a traumatic moment and eventually want to come out with their own story despite having...
I saw DogPack doing what he was doing. No, I was terrified of lawyers, and I thought if DogPack's not scared of lawyers, why am I scared of lawyers? So I talked to the lawyers, and it turns out I was
usually
fine, so I started talking.
It takes one person to break an NDA or to speak out, and then other people kind of follow.
I mean, 100%. Yeah, that was the whole Me Too thing.
Yeah,
exactly. I mean, a whole bunch of girls felt comfortable after the first one did, became like a martyr or whatever. Of course, I understand that, but it's always a risky game to play where you don't exactly know where someone's intentions lie because we've seen it on both times. We've seen it, people take advantage of a social dog pile in an opportune time, and we've seen people genuinely just feel the need to they should come out their story.
I think it's important to note that MrBeast did give Jake Weddle $50,000, and I'm not sure of many people who would give someone $50,000.
Oh yeah, no, he admitted guilt. He did what he did, and he's not did something like everyone's still calling what happened to me into question. Jimmy has not publicly, he's privately given me money as an apology because it's what happened. Like Jimmy is not out here saying that didn't happen. He's giving me money. So
I think if people want, I think if you want people to be 100%,
if I may, real quick.
For sure.
I was sorry, just because this based on the subject matter of the conversation, I just want to get one point out that's been on my brain for quite some time. And as I'm talking to you, Lerix, I can tell that the more information that I give you, the more data that maybe that you didn't have that I can happily give you, I can see more understanding coming, and I appreciate that. But one thing that really, really, really bothers me is the level of scrutiny that comes towards the people who are trying to speak out against the people who have all of the power, all of the money, all of the influence. They're getting much, much, much less scrutiny, or at least their claims and their credibility is less in question. But the people who have something to gain, but also the fact that I'm in the position that I'm in, you know, like I have no money, I have no power, like I had no influence. I'm getting a little audience now, which is nice, but I'm under so much more scrutiny. You know, DogPack, Rosanna, everyone's making sure to all the people, there's so many people that are coming out saying similar things are scrutinized. But we still have people for free. It's like when Jimmy was like, hey, if you are a child, can you go to Walmart and fix my chocolate for free? Like everyone's doing all this free PR work for Jimmy. He can afford Harvey Weinstein's PR team. It's fine. He got them, so don't worry about it.
Yeah, don't worry. I'm a independent, not paid off source of any sorts.
Not,
but
that's why
yeah,
I'm talking to you like you're an honest actor because you're independent. I appreciate you.
Yeah, to address that though, like first, I'm being honest. MrBeast is being met with 100 times more scrutiny than you or anybody else involved. MrBeast is completely on the bottom of the social dog pile. So that's not true. I know it may feel like very overwhelming.
Sure.
That may feel very.
We disagree on that. That's fine.
Okay. Yeah.
If I was in those Discord chats, would I be able to work again?
If you were in the Discord chats of Chris Tyson?
If I did one of the things that Jimmy did, could I continue to work in this town?
It depends. That's a more convoluted conversation.
It depends. More complicated? Yes, what I thought. Okay, I keep up.
Well, I'm just trying to say one point at a time. So what you said is that MrBeast is met with more scrutiny, but and in this case though, and I understand being frustrated and overwhelmed with a lot of the scrutiny that's coming at you in this situation. I know it's very frustrating.
Which is fine. I'll fucking bat it. You know, backhand tennis racket. I back it.
Yeah. But to be 100% fair, I think with the manner in which that you're presenting this information, I mean, if you're honest with yourself, you're very inflammatory with the way that you're accusing MrBeast.
I am.
I mean, you're saying things like,
to be
100% honest. Like,
yeah.
Forgive me if I'm wrong, but didn't you compare MrBeast to like your dad who interacted with a minor?
I did, because I had a very similar allegory that I thought was very apropos. Yeah.
I know, but do you understand how people can be more yeah, I'm just saying, do you understand how people can be critical of your approach when you're that inflammatory that you're comparing MrBeast to like your pedophile dad?
I don't think that's. I think my vibe is hectic. Sure, I got a bad vibe. I've apologized for my vibe every single goddamn day of my life. But as far as the subject matter in which I went about it, I thought it was a personal story for me, and it also shows why I feel strongly about what I'm doing. You know, because if I'm gonna come out here and defend myself from being a clout chaser and an opportunist, then fuck it. I'll tell a personal anecdote about something that means a lot to me and something that I do feel is appropriate, even if you feel like it's inflammatory. I still feel like it's appropriate because what my dad used to do was he would make sure so he could continue to have the big public persona that he had, where he was, everyone in the neighborhood loved him. He was a swim coach. And so it wasn't until news broke that something bad happened to a kid that people started taking me seriously when I was trying to tell people what a piece of shit he was behind closed doors. Now, again, I'm not saying it's exactly the same, but you can understand how I would have magically connected those dots. I'm not accusing Jimmy of being a pedophile, but there's a lot of pedophile adjacent accusations happening. So, yeah.
Well, yeah, that last part of your sentence is kind of the reason why I feel like it's justified to go at your approach here. I mean, you kind of are like alluding towards certain things about MrBeast by comparing him to your dad, and then you're talking about other things MrBeast is related. You know what I mean?
Knew about those Discord chats and covered him up. That's at the very least we can say is probably maybe true, right? So Ava was confirmed in those Discord chats. Delaware is a confirmed sex offender that worked at the place, and I was just saying a personal story. You know what I mean?
Okay, so you are admitting that, like, you are making some kind of comparison to your dad.
I think what happened is,
why else? I don't like. Okay, I don't know what this point is about. I was
Jake was in a mindset, and he was just emotional, and in the moment he spoke in a way that alludes MrBeast to a situation in his own life potentially. But not.
Yeah,
well, like, now, but he's kind of. But now he's defending it, so it's fine if you have an emotional outburst.
Well, I'm defending it full chested the whole time. I'm not sure what the point of these questions are. Like, I stand behind everything I said, and I said them on purpose. So, does that help?
Yeah, the reason why I brought up these questions because you were mad why the people are going at you and at your approach, and I brought up that it's very much justified to go at your approach because you seem to be very aggressive and inflammatory.
People are mad at my vibe. I'm more upset that people are mad at my vibe. I don't think me being the way I speak and the way I talk should be discrediting. My entire life I've done stand up. I wish I could fucking turn it off. You know what I mean? But
yeah, I'm not talking about your vibe. I'm just talking about like the things you're saying. But we can move on to another point that I wrote down that I don't want to miss fast because you said that with MrBeast offering you money, that was an admission of guilt. So I guess if you want people to be like good faith to you and to hear out your story, you got to be good faith to MrBeast. That's not an admission of guilt. It could just be playing a PR game. Like, I have no invested interest in defending Mr.
Okay,
Beast
yeah,
or
I think
defending
Beast
you,
Guild is
but
the
you just have
charitable
to
thing
be
to do.
fair.
I think that even
I'm sorry,
from
I'm so sorry. There's a delay, so I'm
You're
sorry
good.
if I'm interrupting.
No,
I
even from a
apologize.
PR perspective, I think that giving someone that amount of money after them saying that they deserve that kind of money is almost an admission of guilt, even from a PR perspective, I would say.
If I was
So
lying out of my asshole, he'd sue me into the ground, and he didn't do that. He gave me money.
no, he wouldn't, because that would look worse PR wise. This is the game. I mean, you should know it better
I
than
think
anyone.
if
You were an
Mr.
employee at
Beast
Mr.
knew he
Beast.
did nothing,
You know that even if
he didn't do
you
anything
could call like
wrong,
Mr. Beast a pedophile adjacent, and you know that he wouldn't sue you because that would make him look really bad in the public eye.
I think if Mr. Beast knew he did
I'm
nothing
just not
wrong,
sure.
then
Like,
he
like
wouldn't
if we're
pay.
getting down to the nitty gritty of like this level of nitty gritty, like I don't know, like what.
Well, sorry, I feel like it's very
productivity
important.
it has. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sorry. The reason why I think it's an important thing to bring up, we can move on to the next point if you want, but the reason I thought this was important is because you said it was an admission of guilt by Mr. Beast, where I think that's like
I'm sorry.
to say.
It could be an admission of guilt. It could be a PR move. I think
Thank
both
you.
of them bolster me. So whether or not one of them is the other, I think all of them still bolster me. So forgive
Well,
me if
there's
I
a
wasn't
huge-
super clear and spoon fed it.
Well, hey man, I don't think that's spoon-fed. I think it's just being fair to all sides of the fence that could potentially happen here.
And I was
So
trying
I feel like
really,
there's a
really hard
huge
to be,
difference.
despite this Discord.
Yeah, so there's a huge difference between admission of guilt, like fucking silence money, or like paying someone off. Like
I
you're
think an
fucking, like,
admission of guilt
Harvey
is on the
Weinstein or
table. I
whatever.
think silence money is on the table. I think a PR move is on the table. I think all of them are possible. I'm just telling the audience what happened.
Yeah, but being that nuanced, I think will help you out in the long run. That's all I'm saying. You know what I mean?
Sure,
Just
and I
because
feel like I'm trying to be as goddamn nuanced as possible. I really am.
Okay. So we can move on to the next point though, because I do have some other points about
Yeah,
this
let's get to the
50K
next
that I
point.
thought were
What's up?
interesting.
Yeah, sure.
So I have a clip up if you want, where you quote exactly in your previous video. I'm sure you're aware because this is what you've grown your new audience off of. Is that you said that the way you're going to win this game is with honesty and not taking money. I don't want your money, Mr. Beast. And do you see like how taking 50K from Mr. Beast
I don't
very
want
much hurt
his money.
and take away your credibility?
I don't think it does.
Listen,
because he's still,
let's talk about nuance.
He's still allowed
let's
to
talk about
as
nuance
well.
real quick. Let's talk about nuance.
Well, I could
You wanna talk about
establish the
nuance?
points.
Let's talk about nuance.
Okay.
Well,
Do you want me to establish the
we're going to
point
establish the points. The points that I established that I'm going to help you follow. So the points that we're establishing is I don't want Jimmy's money. I don't want to be in a position to have to take Jimmy's money. When you have $200 in your bank account and they're offering you $190,000 and you still don't take all $190,000 because you don't want to be bought out, because you don't want to be XYZ. But you still need 50. I don't want Jimmy's money, but I need to eat food. Is that okay? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I want to be fair to you. I don't want to ramp this up and get an aggressive conversation. I do understand where that comes from, and I know how you. For sure, I know how you're in a very difficult situation. It is very much like bad of a moral dilemma. But I don't think Mr. Beast is responsible for your poor financial status. And if you're willing to play this game and you're willing to make the choice on whether or not you want to take $50,000 or keep your credibility,
I actually think
you have
it
to
is
be
your responsibility because you broke my contract about it. You want to hear about it?
Hold on. Here, just 1 second. So if you want to make this decision, you have to either choose take the 50K and have a hit to your credibility, or deny all the money and keep your credibility. Because you built your credibility on not taking monny from Mr.
Lyrics,
Beast. That's what a whole bunch of people were applauding you for.
No, real quick. I want to answer his question.
Okay.
So real quick. So I'm sorry, you go ahead because I just lost my train of thought. I apologize.
You're
You go
good.
ahead.
Think about it. I was gonna say, Lyrics, you're focusing too hard on the idea of like Mr. Beast, I don't want your money. The way I hear that is I don't want your hush money. You know, if you're gonna pay me and tell me to shut up and stop making videos, I don't want it. But if Mr. Beast comes out and says, hey, here's 50K, sorry for treating you like garbage, but you can continue to make videos and content.
I got it.
That's the way I see it. I would gladly take 50K. If Mr. Beast paid me 50K and it was like, you can still keep making videos, milking me, I would gladly take it. Why would I not take 50K, even if I don't like Mr. Beast?
Lyrics, I think the issue is you're saying you keep trying to I think you're upset that I'm blaming Mr. Beast for things that I do not like entirely blame Mr. Beast for, because it's a world that has a gajillion variables, obviously. But to say that Mr. Beast had zero impact on my life is also ridiculous. And that's where the nuance comes in, is how much blame can we put on Mr. Beast for XYZ? Sure, that's a conversation. I don't know why that's the most important thing in the world, because I think the impact was had, and whether or not, like, getting down into the nitty gritty so we can calculate exactly how much he owes me, that's silly and ridiculous, and I don't have time for that. But What I will say is his responsibility is part of why one of my NDA severance agreements is null and void was because in my contract they were supposed to because they are supposed to give out good severance. And why do you give out good severance? It's so you don't be mean later. But in their great, wonderful, amazing severance package, they essentially were supposed to reach out to 7 companies of my choice. I wanted 10. They said 5. You know how negotiations work. So they didn't reach out to any of them. They only reached out to one, and it was with a letter of recommendation that was 1 sentence that was not even signed by Jimmy. I'm sure he just, said, yeah, whatever, green light. And then it was 1 sentence, and I did not get that job. So, which is fine. The career I have had is still because of Jimmy, because I had the resume. I had MrBeast on my resume, and I was just a nice guy at the office who did good work. So I would work somewhere, and someone from MrBeast, who was a Netflix producer who hated MrBeast, who thinks they're unprofessional, went on to a different job and said, "Hey, here's that writer I like. Let me bring him over here." And then I was able to work over here, and then I was able to work over here, and then word of mouth became I'm getting calls from Kai Cenat's manager, so I can jump on that thing with I Show Speed or whatever, So yeah, like I owe a lot to Jimmy, but I also owe a lot of trauma and negative bullshit to Jimmy. And severance agreements were broken,
right?
And therapy was had. So again, we can get into your nitty gritty, but I feel like your nitty gritty is just getting into the weeds for the purpose of, you say, being fair, which is fine. I want you to be fair. I just can't help but feel like it is scrutiny that I feel like is better suited to the person with all the money and all the power.
Yeah, the way it just comes across to me is that when it benefits you, that you will take the money from MrBeast. But when it doesn't benefit you,
no, because
it's kind of like the classic.
Well,
here, 1 second. No. Well, the thing is that it feels like you're trying to only take the specific amounts that you feel like will be acceptable, that your audience will accept. Because if you took 190K, that your audience.
I care about my audience a lot.
Yeah, you care about how you care how you're received socially. You care about your reputation, and you want your credibility.
For my videos to be, of course. I want
you
people
care
to
about your
trust my
credibility
opinion on stuff.
And you care about your credibility because you said in your previous videos, and the way that you earned your credibility was saying that every penny I make moving forward will be because I earned it. I don't want your money, Mr.
And you came across 50, and you came across, I earned that 190. If you don't think I earned that 300, then you can suck a dick, brother.
Okay.
I think if MrBeast paid him $50,000, and he did earn it, because it's not like a silencing amount of money. It's not like, oh, here's $50K. Stop making videos, a cease and desist, like a hush.
Here's my
money.
problem. Here, CamNuggets.
What's up?
This is my problem that I see is that when it benefits CamNuggets, he'll act like this badass who's just like, you know what, MrBeast, I'm gonna win this long game by being fucking honest. I'm not gonna take your money. I don't want your fucking money. And it's like the classic big punk rocker who then gets a contract from a big major label, and then even though they
hate punk.
Phil? Even though they made their career based off of saying like fuck the establishment, fuck all these like big major labels.
No, that's 21st
as soon as they get a whole bunch of
Green Day sold out. I agree. I hate when Green Day sold out.
Can you chill? This could be a corporate conversation.
I'm trying to have fun. I'm trying to bring the tension down because all right, fucking chill. Goddamn.
Hang out.
Okay, dude. Just trying to get a thought out. So
like,
that's the classic.
I have a delay.
Okay. That's the classic punk rocker thing. Is that they sniff a little bit of money from a major label, even though they got their whole reputation based off of fuck the establishment, and they instantly sign on the dotted line. And that's what it comes across to me as, is that you got your reputation being off fuck MrBeast. Fuck this fucking billionaire. You mentioned his money a lot of times. I don't want your fucking money. I'm going to earn my platform because I earned it and because I'm honest. But then the minute you get a sniff of money, you instantly sell out.
But
that's what it comes across as.
Selling out
I don't
to the
think I
point
sold out at all, and I think you don't have a correct interpretation of the events, and that's okay. You almost understand it. You're just shy of it, and that's okay.
I would say that selling out is completely changing everything that you do. Going from a hardcore, rock band, whatever, to like making
dropping beast bullshit. I'm still gonna talk shit. Yeah, I'm still doing my shit.
So I think that if someone offers you $50,000, I think you'd be stupid to not take it.
If Green Day took the Warner Brothers money and kept making good music, they wouldn't have sold out. But they took Warner Brothers money and made dog shit music. So
that's fine if you want to.
Not to sell out, I have to keep making the Dookie album.
That's fine if you don't want to take the money, but I feel like you have a decision that you have here, and this goes back to agency.
I thought it very thoughtfully.
Yes, you have a decision. So it's either take the $50K and it hurts your credibility that you built off of saying fuck your money, MrBeast, you can go fuck yourself, or you take the hit to your or you take the hit to your credibility and take the 50K, and it's fine. But I feel like the reason I don't think it's justified to just say that, like, dude, I didn't even take the whole 190K. I only took 50K, because I feel like that's a disingenuous way to represent it. What it comes across as is that you only took
my credibility.
Hold on. Let me get the thought out, and you can respond.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I think the only reason
I
think the only reason you took the $50,000 specifically is because, you know, if you would have taken too much, then it would have really hurt your reputation with your audience.
Well, I know people like you would have been a lot meaner.
Well, I think for a justified reason. I don't think I'm being mean. I think I'm being fair to all parties, but that's just me.
Well, no.
My critiques of MrBeast, I have my critiques of
Lerix,
you.
what are your critiques?
Your point. I think the hurt to my credibility would have come from me taking the money and then doing what Jimmy asked me to do, which was not post about it. Jimmy said, don't post about it. I don't expect you to post about this. And I posted about it anyway, to Jimmy's chagrin. So now that we're even having a conversation about him giving me any money at all. So if I took the money and then said nothing, yeah, my credibility would have tanked.
No,
if
but
I
of course you're going to. No,
AI
because you
thing
felt that
All
pressure.
right.
You felt that
Calm
pressure.
down.
So of course.
So,
pressure.
Lerix, do you understand?
Wait. Let me respond to what he just said. So the reason that of course you're going to go public is because, as you just stated, you did feel that pressure, because, you know, if you would have just kept quiet about taking this money, it would make you look really bad in the future.
Again, if you watch the video, the conversation me and Jimmy had was talking about how the implications of me and Jimmy both had a conversation about the implications of taking the money and then showing people if I took the money or not. And like we had a conversation about this. And so, like, but I had this conversation with Jimmy, and now I'm trying to have it with you. So what I think I have factored in where the people who are going to scrutinize me the hardest, I factored them in. I factored in people who are empathetic and humanistic people who just, want to see me, get what I deserve, which I appreciate. And I factored in how I think and how I feel and what I feel comfortable doing and what I need to do to survive. I factored in all of this over and over and over again. I called friends and family and agents, and this is not something that was taken lightly. And yeah, I put some creative zhuzh on it, and I try to put my own fucking comedy element to it, because yeah, I'm trying to run a business myself over here. So I think your points are valid, and the more I try to answer your points, and the more we get into deeper and deeper and deeper weeds that just further call my shit into question and take blame off of Jimmy, it's a little annoying. So sorry if I'm getting a little annoyed.
You're good.
Don't worry. I think there's enough attention on MrBeast right now that what we're doing right now on the show nowhere near outweighs the amount of shit MrBeast
do you not
is getting.
understand any of, or do you not agree with any of Jake's points in his video? Because it seems like every question is like,
again, I don't care if he does or not. He's allowed to think his things. I'm just trying to give him where I'm coming from. That's all.
You could ask me a specific. What do you mean?
Yeah, because
do I not agree if anything?
yeah, like, do you agree with anything? Like, do you believe that Jake is entitled to have trauma, or thinks he's entitled to more money, or think that he's allowed to feel as though he was treated wrong and changed his mindset on any of this? Because it seems like you just disagree with everything that he's said in his video.
Well, those questions inherently are like unfair, right? Like, is he entitled to feel bad?
I think
like,
you're
I can't,
asking
like,
him.
I can't say that.
You're asking him.
Yeah, I think
unfair
CamNuggets is
questions.
just asking you a question. If you do you want to be charitable to me in any way?
Yeah,
Let's start.
exactly.
Yeah, which is fine. If you don't want to, that's okay. I don't care if you do or not.
well, so-
but it is a funny question. I see this a lot in like political debates, where if you don't have anything nice to say about your opponent, you're probably being biased, right? So, and again, you don't have to participate in this if you don't want to, because it does seem like
That's why I
fishy of me
started
to be
off-
like, can you be nice to me? So yeah.
Dude, that's why I started off with the
Well, see,
compliments.
so I opened this.
Oh, so you were aware of the pressure? No, I'm kidding. I'm
I
kidding.
opened this chat so that I thought you would come in with like a few bangers, a few bangers, not entirely just attacking Jake.
I'm totally fine with him grilling me. He can grill me all he wants.
Well,
I don't think
fair.
he's being
I
aggressive.
just
I
want to
don't
make
think
it
he's being
known to the
dishonest.
public that this was not.
I just hope if I get a little annoyed, it's okay.
No. We can all get annoyed. We can all be happy. We can all be funny, giggling. Every mood is allowed here. But I just want to make it known publicly that this was not like an intention. I didn't know Lerix was going to come in here, and turn it into a
Cam,
fight.
I know this wasn't a gotcha.
So just letting everyone know that.
I mean, if you think I'm bad
Cam,
faith, you could ask me a
I'm
specific
so
question.
fine.
If you
I'm so
feel like,
Well,
like,
not
is he
bad.
entitled to trauma?
I don't know about bad
sure,
faith.
it's
Were
kind
you
of like a complicated
are you the
question.
same guy who interviewed Prism 42 and like called him crazy and all this other stuff for like getting involved with EDP and all that stuff?
I wouldn't call it an interview necessarily. Prism 42 said that he would do an interview with me, and then he got into the call, muted me, and then read off a script the entire time, saying that like the reasons why he didn't want to do that.
So I'm just kind of already built up an idea of you you're someone who it seems like you like MrBeast. Do you dislike MrBeast?
I don't know the relevance of this. I don't have any thoughts about MrBeast. Before the situation, I've never watched any MrBeast video
Well, because
before.
there are almost at this point, you know, many people who have come out against MrBeast.
Wait, you haven't watched MrBeast videos?
And you know, many people are coming out with trauma.
I mean, I only watched because I work
Many
there,
people
but...
are coming out with.
I mean, if you want me to condemn MrBeast, if you want me to like seem like
no, you don't have to condemn.
Well, you don't have to condemn him.
You mind if we just like have a conversation now? Unless you have more questions.
Sorry, say that again.
Which one?
Do you mind if we have a conversation now? Unless you want to ask more questions, because I'm genuinely curious. So you've never seen like a MrBeast video, which is totally fine if you haven't. I'm just curious.
No, I've not. Before
Oh,
the situation.
okay. Because yeah.
So do you not think that MrBeast?
Unfortunately, I'm not a controlled opposition.
Do you think MrBeast has done
anything
anything wrong, according to anyone who has come out with claims against MrBeast? Even if we go back as simple as
yes, I think very much MrBeast is condemnable for hiring the sex of registered sex
that is
offender.
bad. Yes,
I agree with that. I mean, I don't know. Like,
that's a low bar, but I agree.
You guys are like accusing me of like being like an op for MrBeast, where it's like, dude, there's only one person in the call who took Jimmy's money this week. Like, there's only one person who took his money.
If anybody here is feeling like their throat is getting jumped down, you know, I was feeling it a little bit. If you were feeling it a little bit, I'm sorry about that as well. I want this to be a productive and a good thing. So if anyone's feeling tense, let's start. That's why I diffuse with jokes, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're all here to just have fun, just to chat, you know? But the thing is, like, it definitely comes across weird when every person you interviewed about the MrBeast situation, you just attack, essentially, which is fine. I mean, if you you want to come at every...
I mean, that is a journalist move.
Yeah.
Like, you put the pressure on somebody as a journalist, which is like, that is a journalist.
Hey, CamNuggets.
Yeah, what's up?
I appreciate if you want to ask me a question, but I mean, you're just poisoning the well right now.
Poisoning
you're not
the
familiar
well?
with my coverage. You're not familiar with my coverage at all.
Explain your coverage.
Like, you know what I
mean?
Because
I'm listening live to your coverage.
We're not trying to poison
taken over my...
We're actively trying to...
You've taken over my interview,
so the difference is...
I hear it live.
So you could kick me out
I'm
at any
not going
time.
to kick you, buddy.
It's your show.
There's no need if you just let me speak. But
don't
to fully explain.
It sounds like you're upset
that
I'm actually like trying to understand your side, and you're now saying I'm accusing you of things.
I could explain it to you.
Go.
So the reason why it wouldn't make sense that I was aggressive at Prism 42 because I had my critiques of Prism 42, but Prism 42 was trying to expose MrBeast and Chris Tyson.
I think he did.
Wouldn't that show that there is no bias?
He did do that.
Who's
though.
Prism 42?
So Prism 42 is the person who made the video about the Chris Tyson Discord logs that has ended up starting all of this. And Lerix had a...
Oh, shit. Yeah, those logs are huge. Yeah, totally.
You know, Lerix, you covered his video, didn't you? And you didn't have many nice things to say.
Yes, I very much criticized him for the same reason why I made a whole main channel video calling out Chris Tyson. Unfortunately, I'm not biased towards any party.
I'm not familiar with your work, so explain it to me. What did you criticize Prism and what did you criticize Ava for?
So Prism is a person who reached out to Chris Chan and EDP445 to cover the Chris Tyson situation, break the news. Obviously, that is an insane thing to do.
Yeah, we can all agree to that. But Prism 42 even made a new video that I didn't. Did you cover the newest video that he did, where he even got EDP's victim to come on and say that they both came together to come up with that idea?
I did see that.
Okay, so why do you have, like, for example, like people like Smaggledaggle or people like you, for example, they're now saying like that was an insane move? We can all agree with that.
Sorry, these names are so fucking
He's
funny.
even admitted that was a...
CamNuggets just called Smaggledaggle? What the hell?
He's even admitted that that was a bit of a dumb move, but you're still holding on to that, even though he's already kind of come out with a video explaining that was not the best idea. Yet I've seen people like you go on Twitter and, you know, try to paint this Prism guy into a lolcow when we've all done dumb things. We've all, you know, made mistakes that we wish we could change.
I'm trying to be honest.
Have you watched the call?
You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying I'm infallible, you know?
Yeah,
like, if I fuck up, I try to tell people,
his call was pretty silly. It was like a...
Wait, CamNuggets, have you seen the call with me? Can we play it for the stream right now to fully understand?
I'm pretty sure
he
played like a recording, didn't he?
Here, fellas, I hate to...
This guy is insane.
This did go on a little longer than I thought I had time for, and I
worries.
do have other meetings I have to get to. I deeply apologize.
No worries.
But if I can get, like, do you want to get Lerix?
I can talk to you after Cam.
Yeah,
Nuggets if you want,
worries.
but we can finish off
rapid
this.
fire, and then Cam, can I get like 5 minutes rapid fire with you, and then I got to bounce? Is that cool?
Bet.
Yeah, I think basically I have just one last question of you or something, just like more about your approach.
And again, I didn't mean for this to get heated and bogged down and weird. But Lerix, let me hit me with your follow-up question, and we can talk about it.
No problem, Yeah. So just like one more question about your approach or whatever.
Yeah.
Not like the biggest point so far, but it comes across just, I feel like, something that could show your potential motivations or whatever that I think does unfortunately like hurt your
I'm trying to be honest
credibility.
with the motivation.
Is
I
that
agree. Yeah.
it does like in the first like minute of your videos where you're calling out MrBeast, like
I
you
hope
say like
people,
these
make
quotes.
inferences about my motivation, and that their inference is, wow, he's really, really trying his best to be honest in a really, really difficult situation. That was my intention, and that is still my intention, and that will continue to be my intention, whether people pick up on it or not. So yes.
Sure. So yeah, so in like the first minute of your video or something, you say something along the lines of like quoting, like support my Patreon if you want to see like justice done for MrBeast, and like you plug your Patreon a lot.
I did not say that. I did not say those exact words, but I know I said something similar.
It's the
and might have
sentiment.
alluded to, if you want to see XYZ. Yeah, some sense, not really justice. I tried to make it to where if you want to fund content where I am being honest and authentic, I something maybe along those lines, but it was never like justice for MrBeast bullshit. If it came across that way, that was not my intention, but regardless. Yeah.
Okay, if it wasn't your intention, that's fine. That's basically one thing I want to clear up.
Yeah.
I would maybe try to be more specific with your wording, because I feel like sometimes you
Sure,
suffer
I'll
from
be
this
as
thing where
specific
you're
as
very-
possible to spoon feed it to people who don't get it. That's fine. Fucking, I got a little bit of time left, so
right.
Cam, I
That's
get can I get like 4 minutes with you, dude? Is that okay?
Yeah, we're cool. Yeah, man. I just wanted to.
All right, cool. I appreciate you. And Lerix, I appreciate the scrutiny genuinely, and I'm sorry if I was getting a little butthurt, but I appreciate you. Thank you for coming on
No
the stream,
problem,
and thank you for asking very serious questions.
Have a good day.
Thank you,
dude.
bro.
You too. I appreciate you.
Yeah, Jake, it was cool, man. I mean, I wanted to make this interview. You know, I did want to have more questions, more critical questions about like the editing style of your content.
No, I wasn't expecting it to be as critical, which is fine. I am let's get critical.
Oh yeah.
Once it got to
Let's
a point
get
where I feel like
critical.
I was covering the same point over and over
Oh
again. It just
yeah.
felt like
I was listening.
You know, like, how many times can I say this point?
Yeah,
again?
I was
Oh, yeah,
listening,
yeah.
and it does seem like we have like a bit of, you know, the chat's going crazy. We have Smaggle Daggle, we have Lerix, we have a bunch of Lerix's fans in the chat.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
so there's a lot going on at once. I'm trying to listen. I'm trying to understand.
And also, I don't mean to talk over people.
No,
I
you're
have a
good,
delay
man.
and I yap.
You're good,
So
you're good.
I'm not used to. I've never done live stream debates before. This
Yeah.
wasn't even a debate. This was
No,
an
it was
interview.
fun.
But,
It was-
I'm new to all this
I hope
bullshit.
you're not
Yeah.
uncomfortable. I hope you're willing to chat again in the future, honestly.
No, I'm so comfortable.
Yeah.
I had a great
Awesome.
time, genuinely, and I hope Lerix doesn't feel like I was being too
Yeah,
hard on him
I have
either.
no issue with Lerix. You know, I have no issue with you. I hope we're cool.
Yeah.
I would love to chat again, but
Absolutely,
I
absolutely.
understand.
I'm trying to make the debate space a nice space.
Hell yeah,
goddammit.
yeah. No, because I like I mentioned, you know, I've been critical on you. I thought like you say, you even admitted it yourself, you're a bit of a yapper. I'm a yapper. We're all yappers.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yapping.
My
Yeah.
only complaint to
Yeah.
your content is like your editing style's a bit interesting, and by that I mean there's not a lot of editing
So I
at
actually,
all.
who is a lifelong friend of mine, and he's going to take over a supporting role with my editing.
Mm-hmm.
If I had enough money to tell him to quit his job and come work for me full time, I would do it right now.
Oh yeah.
But as of right now, I'm getting some editing support, which is going to be great.
Right.
And I got a couple people reaching out as far as other aspects of support.
Very
So
good.
right now it's a team of one, but we're in the process of building, so that's very exciting.
Hell yeah. I just want to say, man, like I'm happy you came out. I'm happy you came out, and I'm happy you also got $50,000 because despite Lerix not thinking that may be an admission of guilt, he's honing.
And he's entitled to
You
think
know-
that. That's totally fine, and he's not.
Yeah,
wrong to
it's
think that.
fine.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, people who play, I think people who like to play like devil's advocates and whatnot, they focus and they hone on certain like terms and definitions. I think somebody, a normal person, would not give someone $50,000 if they don't think that person made a great point or had a right to $50,000.
Look, I mean, at the end of the day, Jimmy and me are the only two people besides the other people who are on set and several editors and some crew members. I sent DogPack like 2% of the text.
Right.
You know, I just he could have spent 5 or 6 hours going through text messages, and all those text messages were other employees at the company. I don't know if he mentioned that.
Gotcha.
So when that one person was like, it was really fucked up. Like that was like a bottom level crew member.
I'm gonna make a call real quick
who doesn't
to
work
get
here.
DogPack in here for like 1 minute with us as well.
Yeah. Here, if DogPack's coming in, I think I can shell a few more
Oh, yeah.
minutes. But I do got to get
Okay,
going.
cool. I'm gonna call that one and let's wrap it up. DogPack, what's up, buddy?
What's up? Can you hear me?
Dawson, how you doing, brother?
Good. How are you, man? We haven't talked since the interview. Not really. I mean,
I
a
know.
little bit.
So it's funny. We've texted a little bit, but like I assume you're hard at work grinding on your shit, and I've been hard at work grinding on my channel. Which again, Dawson, I really do have you to thank for just the ability to do what I did. So just publicly again, if I may, doing the Lord's work, and I appreciate you.
Yeah. Thanks, man. I appreciate you too. I just wanted to, yeah, I didn't want to hop in with Lerix because it seemed like it was getting pretty heated, but I wanted to give my thoughts on sort of like, and my timeline of like how I think of why you didn't just leave and then get your opinion on that. Like, basically the way that I see it is like, first off, what they pitched you is not what you signed up for. It's what you signed up for, but then what you got was not.
I signed up for the way that I signed up for the way they pitched it to me, which they pitched it to me like it was going to be a walk in the park, and then all the things that I didn't know were going to be in the video ended up being a surprise and really, really, really bad. So yeah.
So when people say you signed up for it, that's just completely false.
Yeah.
And then once you get there,
it's like technically on paper true, but it's one of those half truths that's discrediting on purpose, or maybe not on purpose, but it has that effect.
Yeah, and then you take the time off of whatever you're doing, you make the arrangements, you get there, you've already put yourself in the mindset of like, okay, I'm going to film this easy video, it's going to be 300K, and then you get put in this room where it's like you're inhaling paint fumes, the lights won't turn off, so now you're sleep deprived. Which is like a thing that annoyed me about, I already forgot his name, the guy who was in here.
Lerix.
Is he's saying like, yeah, Lerix. He said like, oh, you could decide of your own agency to leave at any time. But it's like, at what point of being like sleep deprived and high on paint fumes is your agency sort of affected, right? Like, I don't think you could.
I didn't even say that. Yeah, that's such a good point.
Yeah, like you probably wouldn't be like you probably couldn't even drive at that point, right? Like it'd be like DUI equivalent.
Also, my legs didn't work.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. That's just my opinion on it.
Well, no, I think it's a good point. You keep mentioning like that's not what you signed up for, because we do have this guy. What's his name? Games 25, the guy who was on like the 30 days on a toilet challenge or something like that.
Yeah,
and that's something similar.
Oh yeah. I didn't finish it.
That's not what he signed up for. You know, he didn't sign up for having the cameras cut off and Jimmy say, "Oh, one of you guys better jump off the toilet now or you're not getting the 10K. It's going to be 9K. It's going to be 8K. His name's 52 Games. I couldn't remember it. Yeah, 52 Games. You know, he's someone who's also now come out saying what the viewers see, of course, on the 15-minute edited down video is a lot different than what actually happens in the 30 minutes of filming or 30 hours of filming, you know?
And if I could make a behind the scenes point to go off of that, it's almost like, and again, I know this because I was in the writer's room coming up with a lot of the stuff. Like, I think that was for the $1 Million series. I worked on that series. And one of the things that I think is the same problem with my solitary video and why it was, worse than we thought, even though it didn't seem that bad on paper.
Right.
That's because, a lot of the videos are constructed that way. Oh, this will be silly on paper. This will be silly in the video. This will be funny content. But real life implications are not even a factor. And that can be a headache for production when they have to make impossible things happen.
Right.
And that can be a nightmare for the contestants who are going actually through the real life events. Like, yeah, you can like get the footage and like get in the like what in The Shining, like Kubrick like purposefully sleep deprived the cast and was actively torturing all of the actors to get he was doing like hundreds of takes so they would have a real like exhausted performance. I think he shouldn't have done that. I think he should have let the actors act.
Oh, yeah.
And I think if it's funny on paper, we should also look at the real life implications and make sure it's safe and possible.
Yeah. I think with 52 Games, like I could see how old, Growing Pains Beast, that could be attributed to just an oversight. Like, you think, oh, sitting on a toilet's funny. It's not, you don't think of like how that's going to affect them health-wise. But after the fact, once you see the skin ripping off and that's when it does become his responsibility and he should have done something to correct that situation, at least pay for his medical hospital bills or something, right?
And people who are in an impoverished situation don't feel like they have the agency to say, Mr. Billionaire, my ass is bleeding. Can you please help me? Because you made me sit on this toilet for so long. I don't want to be a bother, but...
Yeah,
right,
exactly.
We got a question from Lerix for you, DogPack. Would you be down to talk to him? He asked me.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I can moderate if I want. I could try.
Oh, is he gonna hop in?
But
or
after,
do I-
after
if
this,
he's gonna hop in, I might
after
bounce.
this. But if you do have to go, man,
Okay,
I know.
perfect. Well, if that's the case, while I have you guys, I'm about to head out. So
Awesome.
final thoughts from either of you before I bounce.
No, man, I'm just happy you reached out. It's been cool to talk to you again. I hope you didn't feel like I rigged this literally, but
No. Like that was Cam. I appreciate
Hell yeah.
you. Lerix, I appreciate
Yeah.
you. I appreciate everybody, and thank you for fucking having me on, giving me a few minutes to yap my dick off. I appreciate you
Yeah,
guys. And
my dick
Dawson,
off's funny.
I appreciate you too, brother. Thank you
Hell
for
yeah.
Yeah,
everything.
love you, man.
much love.
All right, later, guys.
So you're down,
Later.
DogPack? You're down to talk to Lerix?
Yeah, I mean, I have only like 5 minutes, but
5
I want to give him the opportunity to defend himself as far as like,
Okay, cool.
yeah, the
I'll
comments
make
I made
one.
for
Yeah,
sure.
I'll make one at Lerix. I'll try to moderate.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's gonna be another debate. See, that's what happened. I wanted him to come in, ask some questions. We all try to listen and understand, but you know, sometimes people are a little more opinionated. Some people are a little more focused on certain specifics. You know what I mean? But here, I'm gonna call that one now. Here we are.
There you go.
The minions are here. Hello.
Hello.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up, DogPack? I heard you had it like a short amount of time, so I mean, I don't know. I'll shoot my shot right now. If you would be down to schedule something in the future, I would love to. But I have a few questions right now because a lot of questions or concerns about your video. Granted, I just want to say I'm not a MrBeast op. All right, I have my critiques of MrBeast. I have my critiques of his accusers as well. But first and foremost, what you said, I just want to get some more clarification on the agency part of Jake Weddle, because I felt like that part wasn't really established. We just kind of had to move on because we just agreed to disagree for the most part. So I guess, what was your argument for why Jake Weddle didn't have the agency to leave?
Yeah, so I just Googled this right now. It's like, is sleep deprivation considered DUI? And this is from the CDC. It says, being awake for 17 hours is similar to having a blood alcohol concentration over the legal limit. So my argument is just that, and I don't know how true that is. I'm just referencing CDC, but my argument would be that he didn't really have the agency to agree to the challenges, to agree to doing a marathon because of the conditions he was in.
Okay. If that's the case, that would be fair. I'd have to look at that a little bit more. But from the jump, I'm pretty sure you said something where he never even agreed to the things in the first place. But then I feel like he corrected you, saying like technically he did. And I feel like there's a lot of technicalities here that are purposefully vague to make MrBeast look as worse as possible, and for people to assume the worst about MrBeast, which I don't know. I find that to be a little bit disingenuous.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just going based off his testimony where he said, you know, they called him, they pitched it as a simple vacation. I know in the contracts, like you're technically agreeing to, you know, death. Like that's in the liability clause. So I don't know if he's talking about that technicality, but I was just going based off his testimony that he said they pitched it as one thing and then it became something else.
Okay. And yeah, like quick thing that I'm curious about is that you said you had to Google it right now just to make sure. I mean, I guess I feel like that due diligence should have been done before your first video, but that's fine. I know you don't have a lot of time, so I just want to get...
My first video didn't address Jake, and my second video did not have any mention of sleep deprivation equating to DUI.
Well, it would be the agency. It would be the agency argument.
Yeah, I never made that claim. That was Jake's testimony. I let him speak.
Yeah, but then you came in afterwards and bolstered his testimony, saying why it was justified, right?
Well, no, I think what you're maybe thinking of is when...
Oh, do you want to pull up the clip? I know we probably don't have time.
Are you talking about the...
Would you say that on record that you didn't bolster it? That whole video was allegedly...
Are you talking about the part where he showed that it was a Geneva Convention violation thing?
Wait, can I just get a clarification on this? Would you go on record saying that so I lost my train of thought.
Sorry.
Would you go on record? Yeah, it's fine. Would you go on record saying that that video was all allegedly and there wasn't anything could be proven about that?
Oh no, of course not. I'm referring to Jake's testimony, and then I came in with my own testimony, and then I came in with additional evidence of like, you know, the no does not mean no, and the text messages. I mean, it is what it is, right? Like, I didn't make the claim that at that point that sleep deprivation equated to DUI or whatever. That's all I'm saying.
So that would be like a fact. It wouldn't be allegedly.
Well, what is allegedly is his testimony,
right? Of
course.
Okay, good. I feel like that wasn't fully clarified because then you came in and bolstered and justified more of his positions. But okay, I understand that. First off, in that video too, I want to mention something real quick, is that you brought up this document from MrBeast where he said something along the lines of, no doesn't mean no, right? Mm-hmm. And you said this line that you said that that's what MrBeast is built on, which I feel like that's kind of like an insane bad faith interpretation to say when MrBeast was only talking about filming and whether or not that you can keep like talking to like a 7-Eleven owner, for example, to see if he's a fan of MrBeast and allow him to film it. But you use that in a much more sinister light to paint him out to seem like MrBeast's fucking business is built on no means no. Like that's a mission statement from him. You know what I mean?
So I wouldn't call that a sinister light. I would say I took it more broad than the specific example that he gave, because that's the intention of the production document, is just to explain the concept of no does not mean no, and pushing through no's, which is a huge thing during, you know, the pre-production stages, which is what I worked on. So I obviously have like more experience into that than just the words.
So yeah, I feel like
document.
Yeah, I feel like there's a huge difference between pushing through no's on production versus pushing through no's is like an overall statement that MrBeast is built on. You know what I mean? I feel like that's purposely vague for people to interpret the worst. Do you get how someone could have that takeaway?
I mean,
we could play the clip if you want. It was a pretty egregious like sentence, I feel like.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I would need to see the clip.
I mean, I think you could.
All right, let's do that.
Argue that you can send me and I can play it, or how are you gonna play it?
For sure.
But I was gonna say, you could argue that statement in its own right is kind of just worded pretty badly from MrBeast himself. Like, surely there's another way he could have worded it beyond "no" does not mean no.
Well, that was just the title, and then
pushing through no's is definitely one of the founding principles of MrBeast. Like that is drilled into your head pretty hard.
Okay, so you got to expand on that, because that sounds crazy. You got to expand on that.
Well, I mean, that's his whole thing, is like just persistence, not stopping, getting the results. Like it's a very results-oriented company.
Okay, so
that's what they focus on.
If it's cool, could I share my screen? You could have
yeah.
that. Okay, cool. Let me know when you're in.
I'm looking.
We're good? Okay, let me play this.
At any time, I want to show this segment from an internal document at MrBeast called How to Succeed in MrBeast Production. Specifically on page 19, there's a paragraph called "No does not mean no." Already insane, because it seems to be co-opting the popular anti-rape slogan.
So already you're referencing rape to like preload this and to like poison the well.
Which is a terrible look given the allegations that are going to be coming out very soon.
That's the context for that.
When dealing with people outside MrBeast Productions, never take no at face value. If we need a store to buy everything inside of, and you can call the local Dollar Tree, and the person that answers says, "No, you can't film here," that literally doesn't mean shit. Talk to other employees and see if they are fans or if any have kids that are fans. Try talking to their boss.
Okay, so if I could skip ahead because you just read this out, then you say this.
So yeah, this idea of like pushing through no's is a big component to working at MrBeast, and the way that it manifests itself a lot of the time.
So you say that right after there's allegations that Jake Weddle.
I say it's a big component.
He wasn't allowed to get out.
You're criticizing that? I said it's a big component to working at MrBeast, and also the first line of the "no does not mean no" paragraph is whatever it was, like, this is important. What can you pull up the first long, because you made it seem like he's just talking about a 7-Eleven, which he's clearly not.
Well, that was just an example. So it was basically about production.
So
it's about production.
When dealing with people outside of MrBeast Production, never take a no at face value.
Yeah. So, and also you use this right after bringing on Jake Weddle, saying that he was not allowed to get off of the site. When this "no does not mean no" thing, it specifically says, yeah, like when dealing with outside MrBeast Productions. So Jake Weddle would have been inside MrBeast Productions. So this wouldn't apply to him.
No, here's a contestant. Here's a contestant.
Well, wouldn't that be inside MrBeast Productions? I mean, the guy literally used to be a past employee and he's there on payroll.
He's not there on payroll. He's there as a contestant. He's not like a. He's not getting a W-2.
He was there to get money.
Yeah, he's a contestant. That's what I'm saying. That's what contestants are. Is they're there to get money. Yes.
Yeah, I think there's nuance there, but regardless, it doesn't take away from the main point, is that you bring this up to bolster the fact that Jake Weddle wouldn't be able to say no, and that you bring up this document to further push that point, that this is a big component of the MrBeast, business, and then you preload it and poison the well with rape. I mean, I feel like this is like purposefully vague to make the viewer assume the absolute worst. Like MrBeast is, running this business like rapist ring.
I think you're making that connection, honestly. I think.
Could I have DogPack respond?
Sure.
Then you could talk to my critiques after. It's fine.
Yeah, I mean, so I'm using that document to show the mentality that is instilled in MrBeast production, the production team, by Jimmy himself. This document was written by Jimmy himself. I don't even think I claimed that in the video, but I probably should have. And it shows these concepts of when dealing with people outside MrBeast, like, do not take no for an answer. Push through no's.
Yeah, but what is MrBeast talking about here? What is he talking about?
He's talking
He's
about
bringing up examples
broadly.
of no, you can't film here. It's not
Right.
about the Jake Weddle situation.
No, that's one example. I've also worked at the company, so I understand that the idea of pushing through no's does apply to everything. It's, hey, if this is going to make the video better and the person is telling you, no, I don't want to do that, you push through the no and you say over the intercom, hey, Jake, can you please play with the Legos? And then, hey, man, you kind of really got to do like the marathon or we're not going to have a video. I'm showing that as an example of the pressures that a person in Jake's position would be subjected to.
I hear you, and that could be the case, but that has not been established, and you've not shown that or proved that. And I think it's a high bar you have to meet to take away the agency from a grown 20-something-year-old man, and to put this all on MrBeast, I just don't think there's enough here. And you're like preloading this in the most bad faith interpretation ever, bringing up rape. Like, what do you think the takeaway to an average? You're smart.
He's only saying.
You know the average normie. Hold on. You know the average normie is going to listen to that and think, "Holy shit, dude! MrBeast is running a rapist ring." Like, come on. You know what I mean?
Wait for part 3, bro.
No, he's only comparing the "no does not mean no" slogan to what people say in that context.
So you're saying, so you're saying that's a justified thing. You're saying it's justified to preload and poison the well with that MrBeast runs a rapist ring.
Well, I wasn't making that claim.
Yeah,
in that
no one
video.
made that claim.
No, but you just said that. Yeah, I'm asking you about what you just said.
No. I think that document, I think that mentality does contribute to issues that I will address, in the next video.
So you're saying it is justified. There's going to be rapists coming out in part 3.
Yes.
Okay. Well, hey, I'll look forward to that. I'll see that. And if that's the case, I feel like people come away with this video as a very bad interpretation if that doesn't get established. But if that gets established, then sure, that's a fair thing.
I think at the end of this video, he also teases that as well.
That a rapist is going to be coming out?
No, that there are sexual assault claims.
MrBeast runs a rapist?
Who said a rape ring?
Yeah,
you're talking about the entire.
No, he's talking about.
You're going
inside of Mr.
You're going to the most bad faith, exaggerated arguments possible.
Sorry, that's what I feel like. That's what a normie thinks of when they see no does not mean no, and I feel like
they think a rape ring. They think a corporate rape ring. When someone says no does not mean no in a production manual.
Okay, that's what I asked you, and you like said yes to it. But if we want to like use more stripped down terms and less exaggeratory, that's completely fine. So you're saying that like there is like rapists and MrBeast like corporation.
Bro, they hired a registered sex offender. You think they're above hiring a rapist?
Yeah, well, I mean, hey,
there's also the Muskina. There's also the Muskina girl coming out with sexual assault claims.
Yeah, there's multiple.
There's a lot of other people
already public.
For sure, yeah. I think a lot of people who've been coming out with allegations been a little bit suspicious, and it's unfortunate because I'm not a MrBeast op. I just want to make sure that the most accurate critiques are getting thrown at MrBeast so it doesn't give him a chance to sliver away and have an easy response to a lot of these critiques. Because with a lot of what these people are doing, I feel like it's giving MrBeast an easy dunk to respond. So I just want to make sure all these critiques are 100% vetted.
Okay.
So that's all.
Just to let you know, I have like 5 minutes left. I mean, I'm already overstaying, but...
One last question. So, and this goes back to what I just brought up on how we should like vet all these appropriate critiques to make sure that MrBeast doesn't get to like squirm away. It's that I saw in your Oompaville interview that you just admitted to misrepresenting details about MrBeast, about the CGI stuff, correct?
No, I need to see that clip.
Okay. Fortunately, don't have a lot of time, but I'll try to get to it fast.
Nice.
I mean, I do think my first video, the fake videos examples I gave were bad, but
well, it's like not that they're just bad. It's just that they weren't true and they were lies.
No, they were true, but they weren't. Show the clip, I guess.
Oh, so you're saying it's not true? I mean,
no, they were true. I just said they were true. What are you talking about?
Are you showing it?
I guess you say something different. You say something different in this Oompaville thing. So let me pull this up for you. It should be around the who cares section, I assume. It's about the CGI stuff. So let me try to transcript. Look for this.
You can take your time.
Forgive me.
No, I'm just saying, like, yes. Since that video came out, I mean, I've gotten obviously like hundreds of messages and like, yeah, former MrBeast employees have sent me way better examples of him faking videos than just like, oh yeah, the train track was CGI. I thought it was like kind of common knowledge at that point that the videos were fake. So it was just like trying to get like a 30-second clip of me like pointing out examples. And I thought it would kind of be like funny if I was like CGI, CGI, CGI.
I get it.
Raccoon's a paid actor. Yada yada yada. Like it's entertainment, but like it wasn't the best examples.
Right.
And then I go on to like show Mac and like the boys versus girls, and I think those are the stronger examples than like, yeah, CGI doesn't really matter. I don't care.
Okay, well, I guess, do you see why it would be important to not even include that and scrap that from the video? Because it's just giving the other side free ammunition to say, hey, this guy's misrepresenting details.
Well, people
like just for your sake.
No, I mean, how it played out ultimately was like Chucky probably felt overconfident to address those things, and like Chucky provided no evidence despite having access to all of the raw footage, and like his debunk was terrible. So it probably ended up making me look better, if anything. But
well, I mean, maybe in like the normie's eyes, we're just looking at it from face value because there's a social dog pile on MrBeast right now. But I mean, in reference to the Chucky tweet, I mean, you're kind of the one with the burden of evidence where you have to supply that these things are fake. It's not his responsibility.
Right, which I showed that in my video.
Okay, well, this is you saying that some of these were. He actually has a good point. So let me bring this up.
Marks, but I never said that. Like you watched my video, you know that I
you didn't say that. Yeah.
So just straw man argument, and then the train track was CGI, bus wheels are CGI, pit is fake. That's probably his best rebuttal.
Mm-hmm.
However, when that video came out, Train versus Pit, Jimmy received a lot of criticism about using CGI in that video, and I can send you some screen caps. Like he was denying it in YouTube comments and on Twitter. Like they say, oh, it was never a secret, but it's like, well, when you're being criticized for using CGI, why are you not openly acknowledging it? Again, not a big claim in my video.
What about the
raccoon? Dude, the raccoon.
So like you're outright just saying it's a good point. So the train track was that
what?
CGI?
Dude, bro.
Was that CGI?
Oh, bro. Yeah, the train track was CGI. You can see it in the video. I show it in my bro.
So the pit is fake. So then what are you agreeing to here?
I'm saying that was his best rebuttal in that my criticism wasn't like that damning. Like because what Chucky did not refute the claim that those things were CGI. He says in his tweet, he acts like he's exposing us for CGI to make the backgrounds look cool when we've admitted it publicly. Right. And I'm pointing out the fact that when MrBeast was criticized for that video specifically, he was on Twitter and in YouTube comments denying the use of CGI.
Yeah, so it's more like the bad faith interpretation there. Like if MrBeast isn't being upfront with his videos, like that they're all 100% fake. I mean, they're all 100% real, right?
Oh.
Sorry, I missed that. What'd you say? Or
so it's like the critique of like MrBeast not being 100% honest that all these things are 100% accurate when some of them are. So you're saying like there's no like podcast clips of MrBeast being forthcoming that he does use CGI? I mean, that would be a pretty interesting claim to make because I mean,
I'm saying in
obviously
that video,
some of these are CGI, right?
Right. I'm saying in that video specifically. I've seen the So Crispy video where he did Squid Game and like, they show how it was made. But in this video specifically, he was denying the use of CGI publicly.
So he was denying it.
Yes.
Yeah. So for all of these, are they CGI?
What, the train track is CGI, the bus wheels are CGI, the pit is fake. I said, so that's a misquote. I said, this pit is fake. And it was specific to that one scene because there was a pit, but the pit changed sizes throughout the video.
All right.
But yeah, so.
Okay,
again,
all these were CGI, and there's no clips of MrBeast on podcasts, for example, of like admitting this.
No, not in reference to that video. No.
Okay, so you go on record saying that. That's fair.
Yeah.
And then
I mean, not that I'm aware of, unless it's like a very small podcast, because I went through and investigated like pretty much every podcast that he's been on.
Okay,
but maybe not the smaller ones.
Last quick thing, if you have time. So I saw this document that you posted, and I know you didn't cover it on your channels yet. But what was that Satan part of your document where MrBeast was Satan? Not like the biggest point, whatever, but I thought it was pretty funny and interesting to see.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting too. I mean, people at the company sort of had this like ongoing meme or joke about evil MrBeast. But then there was like actual Christians at the company who like low key theorized and like speculated on whether Jimmy was like the Antichrist, like unironically.
Okay. So I guess not that I'm in a position to give any advice, of course. Okay. But I would say, I feel like even including stuff like that, it does hurt your overall points because it can like write you off as saying like, dude, this guy's saying insane shit. Like, obviously this isn't proven. I saw like one of the examples. It was that apparently he used a church in one of his videos. And I feel like points like that should just get cut out of any kind of document calling someone out because it's giving the other side free ammunition to respond with.
Well, yeah, if you misrepresent the point like you just did, I guess it would give you free ammunition.
Wait, sorry, what? What did I misrepresent with the Satan thing?
That he used a church in a video. It was actually that his first studio, he bought a church and then removed imagery of Jesus and replaced it with logos of the beast. But again, I was saying what
well, okay, to be
I
fair,
was
I feel like
told
that is nitpicking.
by-
I brought up the sentiment and concept. I don't think that changes the broad point. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you're
So
downplaying
he's
it, and it's
nitpicking
like,
with that.
yeah, I mean, what I'm saying in that document, and I filmed a bit about me talking about this, and I didn't include it in my video because it is all hearsay and it's all speculation. I'm just saying that there are people who worked at MrBeast who unironically speculated that he might be the Antichrist, and they gave me a list of ways that he might be the Antichrist. Like, that's crazy.
Do you believe in those things, or do you like think any of them are like have some weight to them?
No, not. I don't believe in the theories themselves at all. I believe that there are people who at MrBeast who unironically think he might be the Antichrist, and that's what's crazy about it. Not that he is.
Okay, but
citing
do you know how crazy that's? No, I understand what he's doing. I 100% know what he's saying. But I guess I don't think that kind of thing should be necessary or relevant to bring into a document, and kind of just gives MrBeast an easy ammunition to respond. Like, dude, let's write off everything this guy is saying. He's calling me the fucking Antichrist, or bringing up examples of other people.
That's one point. He'd still have to refute the other 50. You know what I mean?
I mean, bro,
I agree, but I'm saying
easy ammunition, but it's been a month
wait.
and he hasn't responded. So,
no, dude, I hear you. I'm just trying to say, crop in your arguments to be the most, like, I guess, refined or 100% proven will only benefit you. That's all I'm saying. But hey, that's just my advice. A smaller channel than you, so that's all.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you make good points. You make good points, Lerix. You do. Glad you came out.
Well, I appreciate you having me on,
man.
DogPack. Dude, I appreciate the conversation, quick on the fly, but wish you the best.
Absolutely, man. Yeah. Good talking to you, man. I'll have to check out your content. I've never heard of you before, but I wish you the best of luck, man.
The little bro. No, dude, have a good one.
You too.
There we have it.
All right, Cam, what's your take, man?
I had a fun time. I hope. No, but I mean, I've been reading the chat the whole time. You know, a lot of people said I've been a bad moderator. But you know, I'm more of a listener. I jump in when I think I need to. When I hear an ultimately like a fart sniffingly bad take, I'll jump in. But for the most part, I think like you held your own well. Lerix held his own well. Even Jake Weddle held their own well. You know, some people might say I didn't jump in enough, but I think I just let you guys talk and, you know, set up a nice little platform here so that it didn't become too one-sided. You know, if you obviously hosted a chat, or if Lerix hosted a chat, it'd get to a point where one person's overpowering the other. You know, clearly Lerix is not on your guys' side. I am, so I think it was like a nice middle ground for both of us to be here.
Yeah. I know, I'm so confused about, like, he's covering the MrBeast drama, but he says he's never watched a MrBeast video. It's like,
I think a lot of people are kind of doing that because MrBeast is, of course, the biggest YouTuber in the world. I'm the same. I wasn't a big fan of MrBeast before, but even then, I kind of look back all the way back in the day, and anytime I've seen MrBeast said, does anyone think this is real? You know, so to be so adamant and focused on the, can you prove it's fake? Can you prove it? Like, there's a lot of, tiny points that I think Lerix is focused on. He's focused too much on definitions and like precise wording of certain things. Like he doesn't let people have ideas or thoughts. You know, people aren't allowed to have opinions, I guess, unless they can 100% prove it, which I disagree with, which is most of the times when I would jump in, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like with me, he was almost not focused enough on what I specifically said. Like when he referenced the Oompaville interview, I was like, what, dude? Like, I was so confused because I never said that, I was wrong about that point or whatever. And
right.
Then, the clip he pulled up was just me being like, oh yeah, this is like probably his best point.
Right. I mean, even me, you know, with the no does not mean no thing, he focused on a bit. Even me, even Rosanna, a lot of people in my comments, when you hear no does not mean no, if the first thing you think of is not related to, you know, taking advantage of someone, then that's okay. But I don't think it's a bad thing to make that connection in your head. It's just a really bad saying. That should not be in a work-related document, I think. Unless if you want people to look at it and see it as not a good way to word things. You know, that's the way I see it.
Yeah, exactly. All right, man. Base takes. Good stream.
yeah,
How much longer are you gonna be streaming?
I don't know, man. It's already 12 here. I need to get my sleep schedule back in check. I'll probably go face cam mode and talk to my chat a bit, see what they think. But it was fun.
Yeah. I liked your interview with Jake Weddle, man.
Thank you, bro. Thank you.
Appreciate you having me on.
Of course, man. Thank you, buddy. And that's about where I will wrap up the video. It was a recording of my stream, so if you guys do like that kind of stuff, you know, on stream, we hang out with DogPack, we hang out with Quintheo and other streamers, and I hang out with you guys, but overall, I feel like it was interesting to say the least. Again, no hard feelings towards Lerix. Hopefully I say that right. No disrespect when I mispronounce your name, but I'm happy it happened. It was a learning experience for me as a creator, as a interviewer, as a, I guess, debater and moderator. Now, you know, I feel like a lot could have gone better, a lot could have gone worse. But I want to know what you guys think down below of this interview turned debate turned interrogation. Give me your thoughts. Let me know how I did, how everyone else did, and hopefully you enjoyed. Like, subscribe, share the video. I hope to see you all very soon. Peace out.